So here we go, our third to last game of the weekend, and we are into the big ones. This is the plate final, and we see Thames Valley Vikings taking on Touch Berlin. These two sides topped the plate round robin. They finished 9th and 10th overall for the weekend, and this one should be another fascinating affair.
Berlin won this game 4-2 yesterday in the pool games, so Thames Valley got a couple of new players on the field today, so they'll be looking to reverse that result, I'm sure, at their home ground. But Berlin get their first touchdown there, a diving score just outside Scott.
Yeah, the perfect start for Touch Berlin. Let's have a look at this on the replay. And the perfect start for Touch Berlin over the, like you said, Greg, the home side in this one, Thames Valley Vikings.
This is their home club at Maidenhead, so they should have the home advantage in the crowd.
Here's Louise Carr. 15 caps for England, Louise Carr, an experienced player in this Viking side. Lowton Davis, the youngster, giving it to Henderson. Fifth touch.
One of the ex-junior players for England is Henderson.
Yeah, a real star in the making, isn't he, Josh Henderson? A lot of people tipping him to be a player for years to come.
He just looks too big to be a junior. I knew he had played for juniors previously.
Yeah, he's heading off to the junior touch champs.
Yeah, I thought he'd graduated last year. He just looks too big to be a junior, but he has got that. He has been instrumental in this team over the weekend. That long reach that he's got in defence and the diving attack. So I'm sure he'll be looking to use those attributes in this game.
So here's Tom Lawton Davis, and he's trying to touch the man. And here's Touch Berlin, so he's trying to get the way through Crawford Matthews. He got a couple of scores to himself.
Yeah, those long arms there of Henderson just denying Crawford.
Still in possession though, Touch Berlin. Crawford Matthews now, that swinging ball over to that far side to try and find his teammate. It was a Felix Lemmer, the youngster in this side. And here come Thames Valley Vikings, Henderson. There he goes, that man. Look at these long striding legs go. And Felix Lemmer just gets there in the nick of time to match him for pace. Jay Johnson. And he's laying off. Lucy Neal Hook is there and she gets it.
Scott, it's a late pass from Scott there. Referee has called it as well. So penalty for Berlin. Let's see what they can do from their own half now.
Can they try and drive on Touch Berlin? They've been really disciplined actually today compared to yesterday. I don't know what they've talked about over the course of yesterday evening and this morning, but they've just looked well organised today, Touch Berlin.
Yeah, they have been. I mean, I wasn't sure how Christophe was going to come back. So the French number 5 there was injured in one of the earlier games. He went off the back of the field with an ankle injury, but luckily for them, one of their key players in the middle is back on the field.
And here come Touch Berlin. Can they try and instigate something? Here is Davis trying to lay it off. It's Christian Lofficade, I should say, for Touch Berlin. Max Lepenard is there alongside Lafficade. Lafficade gets it back from Lepenard and he goes in himself. Touch from Brennan. Critical touch at that as well. Here's Max Lepenard again. Only his first year in touch, Max Lepenard, the number 10. Lafayette just looping the ball up. Still in possession though, and working it well as Lafayette just came and arced his round run to try and collect the ball once again.
Another penalty here, given that's the second penalty on the line. Let's see what the Frenchman can do here. Sweeping round the back outside of Nutt. Lucy Neal hook there. But nothing came of that one. So reset again. Getting the girl to sweep. They're going to pick up and go the other way here. No, he's giving it to her. Shut down there by the winger. Good touch there. Johnson steams up. Oh, they just score on the outside there.
Let's have another look on the replay of that one, and it's Lafayette who links up there really nicely with Bellandrade, the Flying Salmon as she's nicknamed, and not much of a salmon dive was needed of that one.
Not at all, no. Piley Williams was just stuck in the between a rock and a hard place there to come in or to stay out. She had to make a decision, and they just got on the outside of her. So 2 points to the good are now Berlin.
So here come touch Berlin straight in from their own half. Can they try and work their way up the field? Over the halfway line they go. Nice work back inside, making up some good yardage. Turn of pace away from Davis and tried to find Crawford Matthews again. He wants to get in the act, doesn't he? He's always trying to. Oh, and a silly penalty to give away from the Vikings, and Touch Berlin now have a golden opportunity to try and push this to a 3-0 advantage. Can they do just that? Alex Humphreys there. Crawford Matthews. Humphreys back with Matthews.
Simpson having to just go in and shut that down. Another 6 touches to the Berlin team. But every minute you're defending on your line, it's another minute that you're not attacking. Been a lot of the game down on the Thames Valley line. A long looping pass, unfortunately, just went to ground that one. So Thames Valley now. Wall ball on there, 5 metres. A lot of yards to make up and a couple of scores to catch up as well. But let's see what this team can do. Simpson, Yelly Williams. She just jinks around the winger there, just making an extra couple of yards while the cavalry arrives.
And they do arrive. Christian Scott is there. He's another towering presence alongside Henderson. England boys under 18s middle. Also another one of those ones who'll be heading off to the Junior Touch Championships. Christian Scott. Halligan is there with him to support. Ball played out wide. And Daniel Powley-Williams stops in her tracks and turnover possession. 3 minutes to go. Louise Jeffrey there, just making her way off now. Here's Lafayette. Lafayette looking to try and go out wide. There's some space, lots of work to do. Need that support. Oh, she's weaved her way through. That's sensational.
Where did that space come from?
That is quite incredible. This is the best angle to look at it.
Jinx round one.
Oh, and that touch from Halligan just couldn't quite reach her.
You can see he punches the ground there in a bit of frustration.
It was Bellandrade. The mini rocket and the flying salmon, she's nicknamed, but she used to put her afterburners on just to weave her way around, and that was a superb score. 2 minutes remaining of this first, and Berlin well in control of this plate final. Here's Simpson. They need to get something before half-time, Vikings, just to give them that extra bit of boost, that confidence going into the second half. Simpson, can he be the man to do it? Lucy Neil Hook is there, along with Lawton Davis, the number 79. Henderson's just in your picture as well. Henderson just gets it there. Oh, and Simpson, he goes down low into his midriff and he takes it well and dives for the line, and that was just the response the Thames Valley Vikings needed.
They definitely did. A minute and a half to go before the half-time hooter. They definitely needed one to stay in this game. They'll be happy with that. Just a minute left of this first half. Probably one attack for each team. Johnson makes the touch.
Crawford Matthews and Davis in support. And looking to try and instigate something is Davis, laying it off to Jeffrey. Oh, and almost just gets in each other's way. And that is the score for Berlin, and then they advance forward into a 4-1 lead.
We see this happen so often, but as we've just been saying, is the fact that the defensive team that's been in the substitution box for a while sometimes just switches off, don't they?
And we're into the half-time break with Berlin in total control, and they'll be delighted with their first 12 minutes of work. They raced into a 3-0 lead, and Vikings managed to get one back, but they restored that 3-point advantage just on the hooter. We'll just have a quick glance at the Plate League table, and look how close it finished. Three sides all finishing on 17 points. Touch Berlin and Thames Valley Vikings just coming on top thanks to point difference. That's how close it was, and we've been saying throughout the day and throughout the weekend how important those points differences can make. Only 2 in it between Thames Valley Vikings and Hurricanes, and Hurricanes have had a solid weekend themselves. And we'll have a quick look as well at the cup table as well, and Hot Custard and Six-Pack Roosters will compete in the cup final, with BBR just missing out again on points difference. Just look how close it was again. Six-Pack Roosters and BBR. It just shows, saying how important this this points difference, should say, plays in this competition.
Exactly, yeah. They both won 2, drew 1, and lost 2. But BBR on a neutral plus or minus for and against scoreline, where Six-Pack Roosters have just got 5 ahead, scored more and had less against them. So we don't see BBR, who were probably one of the favourites coming into this, with Hot Custard taking the last National Touch Series title, but BBR taking the overall series. So it was probably expected that those two were going to be up there. But this Six-Pack team has been fantastic over the weekend, so well deserved for them.
Well, we've heard the 30-second siren just go off, so we're only moments away from the start of this second, and Thames Valley Vikings will be in desperate need to get this first score of the second half of this plate final, as Touch Berlin probably felt very, very comfortable going into the half-time break with that 4-1 advantage, and they had a fantastic first half showing, didn't they, Greg?
They did, yeah, and Thames Valley with a tap off here, so they definitely need to run something here that gets them back on the scoreline. Next score, they definitely need to be the next one to score.
There's Lawton Davis with Louise Carr.
Sweeper ready to come here. A bit of a fumble at the beginning, but Simpson's got it outside his link. I think the ball is down, they've given it. He's thrown it away with purpose, like he expected it to go his way as well, and it has done. Just a bit of a fumble there. I didn't think that was going to be a good platform, but Simpson just outside his player. Ball was down first. So it's definitely the start in the first 30 seconds that Thames Valley wanted and desperately needed as well, Brad.
It certainly did. Thames Valley Vikings now reduce that gap to only 2 points, but now it's the opportunity for Touch Berlin to have their first attack of this second half. Are we going to get back to that 3-point advantage we saw at the break, or can Thames Valley Vikings defend this one? This will be a real momentum swing if they can. They go, Touch Berlin, Crawford Matthews, and he's had a superb Sunday for Touch Berlin here in Maidenhead.
He has a hat-trick in one of the earlier games as well. Here he comes sweeping outside of Johnson. They've gone the other way.
Here is Crawford Matthews along with Mark Hansen there. Matthews gets it back, looking to try and work that angle. There's some space opening up on that far side, and it just loops over the head of Belendrade. And the opportunity goes begging.
So Lisa Neal Hook now driving it up. Williams passes it off. Johnson, the big man in the middle, driving it up. Just gets to halfway now with Scott. A good platform here. Some good momentum from Thames Valley. He's through the space, just looking for his... And there's that man Simpson again, just finding the space outside the link. That was a really good transition and drive for them. They'll be happy with that. Back in the game now, I feel. It was desperately needed, and they've turned it on when they needed to.
The wind is in their sails now, isn't it, Greg? Thames Valley Vikings now only reduce that gap to 1. Touch Berlin leading by 4 points to 3.
This next score again is going to be key. If they can, this defensive team can wake up straight after being in the substitution box, keep this Berlin team out, then it's definitely something they need to be doing. The ball is down, and it's exactly what we've just been talking about. That defensive team were not awake. Berlin have capitalised on that, and they've extended their lead to 5-3. So Thames Valley with a chase in the game yet again now.
Yeah,
ball was down first. They're expecting it. They're looking around, asking the questions, but can't disagree when we're watching it back on the replay, Brad.
No, Touch Berlin, they've soaked up that pressure from Thames Valley Vikings, and they've gone up the other end and got that crucial point, although Thames Valley Vikings respond straight away. Well, what a second half. What a couple of 4 minutes.
Great set play there with a sweeper back move between Scott. He sweeps around the back. Scott gives it, sweeps back over to Lawton Davis, who just dives in. The Berlin players are just shaking their heads, not sure what just happened there, but just one in it. Just over halfway through the second half now.
Yeah, Berlin just need to compose themselves and go again. Don't want to try and rush anything. They've still got that lead, but Thames Valley Vikings have had a fantastic second half so far. Can Berlin get over the line? Can they get another one to restore this 2-point advantage into a central position? Davis looking to go out wide. There's Afflecade in, and the touch was made. So turnover now, and here come the Vikings with, they'll want to try and charge forward. We see Neil Hook now with Halligan. Halligan getting that touch from Lafricade. Neil Hook coming forward. Halligan just laying it off to Christian Scott. Scott doing well to pass it back inside to Neil Hook. They're building up a momentum with speed and direct through the middle. Here's Simpson. Simpson with Scott in support. Scott looking to go out wide. Oh, it just couldn't be picked up. It just died in front of her. And it was Becky Anderson on this near side wing. And the opportunity goes begging.
Probably the wrong option there. I don't think they didn't set the right platform up. They're just looking for long. It was just man on man. There was no overlap created, so they need to be a bit cleverer, I think, if they want to get through this German defence.
There's Alex Humphrey. Davis in support. He picks it up. Davis running straight through the middle, needs to find it, looks to go backwards. Oh, and it was nearly unbelievable. It was Alex Humphrey who was there in support, and if he'd pulled that one off and claimed it from that position, that would have been, well, one of the tries of the weekend. That would have been quite something. And Thames Valley Vikings are led off, and now they'll come forward themselves. And here is Simpson.
Harley Williams. That man Scott again.
Brennan, the number 72, alongside Josh Henderson there. Richardson's in the middle. Henderson opts to go left, and Powley Williams is there.
The touch is in, but the ball's been spilled. So Berlin let off the hook again. They're just clinging on to this lead. Another penalty coming to them, it looks like. Referee's just out of our shot, so we can't see what the call was there. But a penalty to the Berlin team. They're coming back for something else now. Technical error by the Berlin team. It's been turned over to Thames Valley to tap it off. So this is, they need to capitalise this now. Use this to their advantage.
Here's Richardson.
Ten Brook to Johnson to Scott.
Just stopped in his tracks was Christian Scott, but yeah, there's Ten Brooks to the left, and Jay Johnson there, the coach for the men, well, the assistant coach in the men's 30s. And here's Lucy Richardson. What can she do? Lays it off to Johnson. Christian Scott trying to drive forward. That touch comes in from Crawford Matthews.
Bit of patience now to get the players set up. There's no half there. Not sure what was happening in that one. They've turned it over.
And Berlin have soaked up that pressure, and now they'll have the chance to advance forward up the field. Alex Humphreys was there. And there's Crawford Matthews with Lynn there now also instigating play. Now here's at Lafricade.
Ball down there. Won't be happy with that decision. He thought it was going to be a hard touch in the middle, but it wasn't. It was just a loss of control there by the Frenchman, so...
Well, this is going right down to the wire in the plate final, and a reminder, if we are all square and if there's nothing to separate these two sides after 24 minutes, we will go to a drop-off. And we'll explain the permutations of that. If it does go to a drop-off, here comes Henderson.
Scott with unlucky there. He found a gap that I didn't think he was going through. I just couldn't find support.
Over halfway line they come. Nice movement once again. And Max Lepinard in the middle there, Lafricade. Lawton Davis in support of Simpson. Henderson's there to pick up the loose ball on that far side. There's Powley Williams, experienced Powley Williams, trying to do everything they can. Over halfway line they come. Tom Simpson with Jay Johnson. Presence in the middle of this Thames Valley Vikings side. Are we going to be going towards square? They're building up a head of steam. This is nice from Vikings. At the very last, it's just spilt over, but another opportunity for the Vikings, and you feel like this is the perfect opportunity now, isn't it, Greg?
I think it's make or break with only a minute and a half to go.
Here's Neil Hook, number 88. There's Tenbrook as well, the number 8 in your picture. Jay Johnson's there.
Another penalty. Just over a minute to go. This is going to be a critical attack for the Thames Valley team. There's going to be another penalty, and I'm not sure if he's going to have to send somebody off. Yeah, they're down to 5 now, I think, the Berlin team. The winger's just gone to the sideline, so it's down to 5 versus 6. Are they going to be able to use it?
Neil Hook's in.
Hook is down. They were claiming that the ball was spilled, but it wasn't. The referee has given it. That's 5-all. Like we said, that was the critical piece. A bit of technical work there in the middle in terms of getting that penalty. They did it well. They had the patience to draw that Berlin team out. They were down to 5 players, but it didn't matter. They didn't use the overlap. They just used the space in the middle. And this is the last attack I'd expect now from the Berlin team. With 10 seconds on the clock to keep them out.
Here's Davis, this to win it then, the final phase of play. Can they win it? Go for the line. Touch comes in. There goes the hooter. Can they work something? Davis jinking from right to left. Oh, and then comes the touch, and that brings an end. So 5 apiece, nothing to separate Touch Berlin or Thames Valley Vikings. So, as the teams are locked in at 5 apiece, we will be going to a drop-off. And Greg, if you can, just explain to the viewers who are tuning in for the first time into Touch Rugby, what are the basics, principles of a drop-off? I'm putting you on the spot here.
I'm glad you passed that over to me, Brad. You can take that question if you like. But yeah, so basically the teams are down to 5 aside in the first 2 minutes. If the team that taps off scores, then the opposition has a right to reply. If they score in that first set of 6, then it's sudden death after that. Every 2 minutes, you lose 1 more player until you're down to 3 aside, and then the game continues from there. So this score is either going to be 1-0 or 2-1. So yeah, they scored in the first set. This means Thames Valley need to score in this attack now. If they don't score, that will be it. The game will be over. So all to play for in this next set.
Let's see if Thames Valley Vikings can reply. Big moments now in this plate final. Touch Berlin have done all they can in their first set of 6. 2 down. Christian Scott and Henderson in the middle. Now is Lawton Davis, the youngster. Christian Scott just taking their time, aren't they now? Here's Scott, Lawton Davis just flicking it up to Henderson, looking to try and drive through. Does the touch come in?
He was too casual. I think if he'd have dived a bit with more purpose, he would have got that there. A bit of crossings, a bit of confusion everywhere here. Crossing, that's the game over. The game is over. There's no right to reply here. That's it. The Thames Valley Vikings have lost the game. Berlin are the winners.
There we go, just waiting for that full confirmation. The referee was just teasing us a little, but yes, there we go. The plate winners are Touch Berlin. A huge congratulations to the German side, and what a fantastic game it was, Greg. It was a worthy final, wasn't it?
Exactly, we wasn't sure how it was going to go. Like you said, the Thames Valley team came back strong. They lost yesterday 4-2 to this team, so they put in a very good performance there to keep it at 5-all. Goes to drop off. They had the opportunities. They were nearly over the line, but the touch was just made. So yeah, worthy winners of that final were Berlin. They'll be happy with that, going back to Germany with some silverware.
Let's have a look at the highlights of what was a fantastic plate final. It all started with Berlin. They really got out of the traps firing, didn't they, Greg?
They did, exactly that, and that's what you need to do in these 25-minute, 24-minute games. You can't wait around and expect to have that long team talk and, you know, well, let's do that in the second half. You just need to go out all gun blazing straight away.
And it was Bellandrade who... this was the really fantastic score, wasn't it?
She jinked around and found a gap that wasn't there.
It was sensational. Halligan just punching the floor, and then here come Berlin again. It was a simpler score this time, and they nearly just got in each other's way, actually. Jeffrey, but they did get the score down. And this was Vikings reply. Henderson flicking the ball out to that far side for Simpson. And that was just the start for the second half that they needed. And they really put the cat amongst the pigeons, didn't they, against in the second half, with Berlin just holding on slightly.
They did, and Simpson hitting that hole again on the outside. There's the Frenchman running through. Just a short ball there rather than going long. Scoring at his feet. Lawton diving over with a good sweeper back.
And we nearly saw something spectacular there, didn't we, Greg?
Did.
We nearly...
head in his hands there as he drops it.
That would have been quite something if he'd pulled that one off. We nearly lost it in the commentary box. And here is Neil Hook, who sent it actually to the drop-off with that score.
It was good patience between those teams, between those players, just to get the penalty. And here it is, just a stutter. He dives outside, and it was just... Vikings had nothing left at the end. But great game, great result. And next up, we are into the plate.
Into the cup, I believe.
Cup. Third, fourth playoff now.
So we'll see BBR taking on Cambridge Hornets. BBR, we were surprised to see them, aren't we, in the third and fourth?
Yeah, again, it's come down to points, hasn't it? As we were saying earlier, they were on a neutral point deficit, whereas six-pack Roosters just pipped them with 5 additional over the weekend. So this Cambridge team have put some good performances in over this weekend, with some youngsters and some experienced players in their ranks. A strong roster they've got on the field and in the substitution box as well. So let's see if they can go against the English national champions in this third, fourth playoff.
So yeah, an all-English affair in this third, fourth cup playoff. BBR only missing out on the final due to points difference. So there was only a point in it between BBR and Cambridge Hornets. So we're only moments away from the start of this third, fourth cup playoff. And we have 2 more games with you then, going to our final hour here in Maidenhead for the European Touch Club Championships. BBR taking on Cambridge Hornets.
Who's on next? And me and
So here we go then, the penultimate game of the weekend on pitch number 1, the 3rd, 4th place cup game, and it's BBR taking on Cambridge Hornets. And an all-English affair. These two sides have met previously in the NTS series.
And there is the first score.
What a start for BBR. They want to mean business. They want to try and finish off the weekend strong. They'll be disappointed that they didn't get into the final. That was Finley Lockhart just sneaking through. Cat Jones and Glenn Jones there as well.
The first minute of the game, that's how you want to start it.
Absolutely. And how will Cambridge respond? There's the young Harry Missing is there. Nicky Fern's now running onto it. Slater. Harry Missing just picking it up. Slater gets it back. The experienced Slater.
Mark Knight going up there to make the touch with Hannah Crisp. Missing off to Slater. Maynard sweeping around the back. Just diving in outside Revel and inside Sanwan. They're having a conversation between themselves to see whose fault it should have been. But either way, Maynard with an easy-ish kind of score here. He dives in, making it 1-1. It's even again.
It is. Nothing to separate the two sides then after 2 minutes gone in this first half. How do BBR come forward now?
Evans, Clark, Hobson, the English men's open player.
Tweedy, the youngster, getting it to Finley Lockhart. Trying to get through again. Matthew Sandlett was there. Cat Jones was also.
Hobson picks up. Lockhart, long. I think there are a few players on the wrong, on a different sheet there. There was nobody in any spaces.
Yeah.
So Cambridge come away now, driving that ball up. Matthew Maynard. He's just lost control there. They'll be unhappy with that. Well, the Cambridge team. Coach Powell having a quick word with them before he gets his boots laced up. Let's see if we see Powell back on the field again.
And here come BBR in the centre. Let's see if they can work something in the middle. Oh, and Finley Lockhart just trying to weave his way through, waiting for that confirmation from the referee. And he does. He was just taking a couple of steps back just to reassure himself, and Finley Lockhart gets BBR back in front.
It's a tight call. It'd be good to see the replay of that one in terms of how that worked. Some good pointing and directing there by Hobson. They just dived underneath Maynard.
And as we go into the deep end of this first half, I believe we have Chris down pitch side, who's going to be talking to one of the victors from Touch Berlin. It is Chris Laffercade, and Chris is down pitch side with our victor.
The team did a great performance. I mean, we missed at the end by 1 touchdown. We missed the cup, and at the end we won the plate after a drop-off. Very tight game. So fully satisfied by the tournament. At the end, we are the first team, mainland European team from the competition. Very happy about that.
Yeah, just from what you said, it just shows how competitive it's been all weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I think that we saw a lot of tight game, and top 6, yeah, maybe that's slightly better, but we are closer now, and definitely it was very tight competition. Yeah.
And it was only on points difference that you got into the final as well. There were 3 teams all tied on 17 points.
Yeah, we were a bit lucky there. We didn't plan that, but yeah, we let's say we take care of the
Just a quick chat about that game against Thames Valley Vikings. When they score to tie things up so close to the end, what's being said in your sub box?
Yeah, at the end, a final is everything in your head. If you put in your head that you will win it and you're still confident and you keep the composure, you will do it generally. So keep calm, keep playing, and just fight.
As far as the overall weekend's concerned, you've hinted on it just in terms of what it means for you to be taking a trophy home. But overall, to have this competition now on the calendar, what does it mean for Club Touch in the continent?
I think it's great because you can definitely compete more and more against basically better team. It's a bit like GIF in Paris who managed to gather a lot of a British team and all the mainland European team. It's a great opportunity to improve ourselves as a club, so it's perfect.
Chris, thanks very much for your time. Congratulations, and go and take a well-earned rest. We'll go back up to Brad just for the remainder of the game between BBR and Cambridge.
Thank you very much, Chris. And now the voice of Chris Lafficade from Touch Berlin, who are the plate winners. And we are back onto the pitch where we see BBR currently leading the way by 2 points to 1 over Cambridge Hornets. And they're looking to try and extend that, building up a bit of momentum now. Gareth Revels just in your picture there. Finley Lockhart's looked lively in this first half so far.
Half court, so it's a turnover. And here come the Cambridge team. That young missing. To Maynard. To Slater. To Franks. The Cavalry's coming on now with fresh legs around the back. Nicky Ferns driving it up the middle. Dodging and weaving.
And here's Nicky Ferns. What can he do? Ollie Maynard's in support now. Here is Ollie Maynard. Nicky Ferns just got to be there, and he does.
The ball is down, the score is in. They level it up, do the Cambridge team.
Now we're back to 2 apiece. So 2 apiece in this first half. And BBR looking to attack straight away. There's Clark Hobson who's just coming into picture now. James Tweedy, Mark Knight. Tweedy gets it back straight away to Clark Hobson. He wasn't with the BBR side yesterday.
Well, they flew him back in from holiday last night to be ready in the team today.
Yeah, we had Hannah Crisp actually up in the commentary box early on yesterday, and it was a very untimely holiday for Clark Hobson to organise. A bit of word in the ear to Clark. But of course, they're missing the likes of like Ryan Mimshek. He's not here this weekend.
Nope.
So,
I think just still recovering from a bit of a knee injury. Just taking a bit of time out before the England Nationals in August, bank holiday weekend in St Ives. Also missing Leisha Green on the wing. Another couple, like we were saying earlier, they've playing for the local clubs today, so 6-back. Brett is also missing. So yeah, there's a few missing from the squad, but they've still got a strong team here.
And over halfway line come Cambridge. Matty Maynard, he's been running all weekend and he still looks like he's playing in his first game of the weekend, Matty Maynard, and he looks to go to his left to Matty Sandler. Oh, he does well to pick it up, but the touch comes in from Clark Hobson. The energy levels of these youngsters is quite incredible, isn't it, Greg?
It is indeed, and I think the biggest thing is the recovery levels. You can, like some of these other older players now, I class myself in that as well, is that you can play at that intensity, it's just the recovery afterwards. So it's these long days, double day tournaments that are the young man's game now, isn't it?
And here comes Finney Lockhart. Well, that was clever ball handling, and he just whipped it away from his opposition and got in behind the goal line, and BBR are back in front. That was clever play from Finley Lockhart, who's looked really lively in this game so far.
A dummy, a step, a shimmy, and he's through, putting them one ahead with 2 minutes to go. So this is where Cambridge's next score is going to be key.
So over the 10-metre mark they come. Here's Sam missing.
Kat Daniels off the floor. Nikki Ferns. Maynard ready to sweep.
There's Kat
Again,
Jones.
Nothing. Have to reset something else here, I think. Not happening there. He's gone too early as Maynard with the stuttering. He's going to run. Hammer in the middle. Gone. Someone there knocking the ball down. It was needed. Nikki Ferns. Here they are. Bit of patience, getting the players back in position. Someone missed on that time.
Still in possession, Cambridge. Can they try and...
They hesitated, didn't they?
He did. He was looking for it, wasn't he? He was sort of... had his eyes locked into the area he wanted to go and looked to go the other way. And a bit of a smile on the face of Sam missing. What's been a long weekend for both sides. Into the final minute we go. BBR still leading. 3 points to 2. There's Lucy Norburn in your picture as well. Now into the middle is Ollie Maynard. Kat Jones now. Nikki Ferns is there. Nikki Ferns gets it. Just a bit of confusion of what the plan is here for Cambridge.
It's a very clever defence by the BBR team. Excellent.
Vicky Franks.
It did look like a bit of confusion, but it was a very good technical bit of defence by the BBR team. This is where he just gets through. Revel never makes his line, he still misses him. A long pass there from Missing to Franks on the wing.
And Franks gets it, and we're back to 3 apiece. Only seconds remain. Look at Finley Lockhart go. Needs the support. Clark Hobson's there.
Touch was in.
Touch is in. And Finley Lockhart nearly completed what has been a stellar first half for him. And we bring the first half to a close with nothing to separate them in this third-fourth game. Third-fourth Elite Cup match. And it's BBR against Cambridge Hornets. Nothing to separate them. 3 scores for both sides. And we'll be back for the second half in a couple of moments' time.
Touch is a minimum contact sport where the aim is to score more touchdowns than your opposition. Touch team is made up of 6 players on the pitch with up to 8 substitutions. Those 8 substitutions can roll on the pitch at any time. Touch can be made of mixed teams or single gender teams. In a mixed team, there is a minimum of 1 man and a maximum of 3 men on the pitch at any one time. At an international level, touch games are made up of 2 20-minute halves.
Half time, girls.
But at all levels, you can have varying different half lengths and periods of time.
So here we go. We're only a couple of seconds away from the start of this second half. And the coach is on for Cambridge. Ben Powell is taking matters into his own hands. And 3 apiece. It's still nothing to separate the two. Here is the coach, Ben Powell. Commentary joined by myself, Bradley Hope, and Greg Cropper for this one. Here's Cat Jones, and maybe a chance early doors as Norton has to play it back inside to Cat Jones, and Ben Powell is there waiting in the wings. Powell's there on the 5 metre. Mark Knight's coming to shut him down. Here's Matty Maynard.
He thought he'd gone early, did Powell, but he hasn't. They got away with it.
Here's Powell looking to go out wide.
Looping pass. Unfortunately, down on the floor. It was a good set that. They put a lot of pressure on the BBR team there. I think they've got a lot more in their arsenal to come with Cambridge if they get up there on the line.
Here's Gareth Revel. Eddie Sanyuan.
Hogg to Hobson. Back out to the winger. Anna Crisp. Lockhart driving it up the middle now. Oh, he's just turned on the gas here.
He has. He's been scintillating to watch actually in this game, Finley Lockhart. It's almost just like he's just giving one final effort. Oh, and Hannah Crisp was just reaching her hands out and agonisingly drifting away from it. There's Sam Missing along with Ben Powell, Matty Maynard now advancing up the field. Cat Jones lays it off to her coach. And here's Sam Missing. He always has that little sort of skip and a jump before he looks like he wants to set off and like a steam train.
He does. He's just making his decision as he's watching what the defence are doing in terms of what the hips are turned, are they flat-footed, and then he's making the decision while he's in the air to go, yep, I'm going to go, this is happening. It was good. Powell in the middle. Ball is down. Cambridge take the lead here. 2 minutes into the second half. That skip again. And there's Powell in the hole.
Well, as we've said in the first half, Ben might just have been thinking, well, if no one else is going to do it, I might as well come on and do it myself. And he's a lot of that help came from Sam Missing, of course, a fantastic assist there, and Ben Powell, the coach, and he's come on and got the score.
He has indeed. I think one of that is in the first half he's just been sussing out how to break down that BBR defence by watching all of it, and you can't always do that when you're playing as well. That was unlucky there. If Maynard would have just kept his hands out, it would have been a Cambridge ball, but 6 more now. BBR, this is where they're dangerous. A set of 6 on the line. They've got a lot of opportunities here. So there's the first attempt. You can see they're going to condition this team. They can do exactly the same again with a slight variation. Revel just waiting. There you go, he's gone long already. The team collapsed in on the last one because they knew they were going to the right. That was a great ball out to the winger there. And it's all level.
Katie Sanyuan getting in there, and we're back to 4 apiece. Some great work from James Tweedy, the youngest member in this BBR side this weekend. Gareth Revel, I love how he just sort of casually just strolls back and then just hands the ball over.
In my time, I'll play it on my time scale. Here we go, expects it again, picks up and goes long straight away. That's a really good long ball. Still a lot to do, still had to catch and dive outside a winger there, did someone.
You just see that power from James Tweedy in the forearms, can't you? Just really releasing that ball out to the wing. And here comes Ollie Maynard. Are we going to see an instant reply? Harry Missing, the youngster, goes in.
Absolutely superb set play there. Again, it's the defensive team from BBR that have just been in the subs box. Come on. Not sure if they're just awake here. Missing another step. Miss pass out to the other youngster. Steps back in. Mark Knight covers. But Miriam Evans there is left out to dry a little bit as the youngster dives over. Cambridge here now 1 to the good against BBR in this 3rd, 4th playoff.
Well, BBR
That's
looking
a nice move. That was unlucky there for the BBR team. Really good set play there, but Missing just read it at the right time to make that crucial touch on the line.
Yeah, the touch in. Tweedy back inside to Finley. Lockhart going for the dive early.
Offside call there by the referee. So BBR have got another opportunity on the line. This is where they're dangerous. They've just shown that in the last time. Bit of patience. Sweeper. Step. And here we go again. They'll run something similar with another variation. They've already told the Cambridge team what they're going to do.
Looking to try and get forward again.
I think he's gone a bit off plot there. I think they'll have to go again, reset, get the ducks in a row here.
Tweedy, Michael gets it back to
There
Tweedy
we
and
go.
looking him in the middle, trying to spread the ball out wide. Oh, and just drops it with the goal line beckoning.
Unfortunately for them, the set play was perfect. They'd got the conditioned defence who all collapsed in. The long ball was on. It was to her hands and she just spilled it. That would have been the leveller for BBR, which will have kept a bit of confidence in the subs box there. Maynard, platform set. Maynard picks up, oh, and there it is. They take the lead by 2 with 5 minutes to go.
Well, that was down to Maynard's brilliance there, just going through the middle, and Sandler was just there waiting for that pop pass, and he was in all acres of space to finish it off. Where did the defence go in the middle?
Yeah, Alison Hogg there stood out at the link, just shaking her head, not sure what had happened, but it was a great play there by the youngster. As BBR now drive back. Touch was just in. Unlucky there, Clark Hobson diving underneath. Touch is 4th, so they've got one more setup to do. Someone looking to sweep here, I think. Someone sweeps. Sweeper back. Another cut. The dancing feet of Revel just dives over Maynard. And the score is there. They definitely needed that.
Gareth Revel, he's a big guy, but he gets he moves around with twinkle toes feet, doesn't he? He's
Very much so. He's a very clever player. Lots of experience. Sweeper back there, Clark Hobson. Another cut, dances. You could see that the player was off foot. They had the overlap if they needed it, but Revel just goes over. One point in this with 4 minutes to go. Cambridge setting up the line. Missing to Missing. Set up again. Missing's gone long. Touch was just in, I think. Is well held there by the winger. A 6th touch. So Mark Knight driving this ball up now to Hobson. Need a bit of momentum to the BBR team now.
Clark Hobson advancing forward, but obviously playing it all the way back to Eddie Sanuan, and over the halfway line they come.
Revel setting the platform. He's just gone long.
Oh, you see what Eddie was trying to do, trying to just sort of flick it onto the wing, wasn't he, just to give it that extra bit of flight.
Like a salmon. Just jumping up, but yeah, it just didn't make it. I think the better option would have been setting a platform and going for phase off the next one, but he saw something outside. The ball just didn't make it to the winger. So Cambridge taking control of this game now. A technical error there by the Cambridge attack. Wasn't played between his legs, it was played at the side, says the referee. This is a critical point in the game now for the BBR team. Again, passing it back really deep while the players are still coming on. Forcing that pass there was Hobson. There was no one else on the field to pass to. A bit of impatience. He should have slowed that down maybe there.
Cat Jones now inside her own half, under pressure early. Glenn just lays it off to Nikki Ferns. Over the halfway line they go. The touch does go initially, but he makes up a few more yards as Nikki Ferns. And Cat Jones is there alongside Matt Sandlin. Sandlin gets it back inside to Cat Jones, and Ollie Maynard now can swing round and pick up the ball. Now Sandler into an essential position. He just feeds it off to Cat Jones. Sandler with Maynard again. This is quick, really quick. Decisive play. Oh, does Cat Jones just scoop it up?
Just dropped, unfortunately, there by Jones. So again, BBR just let off the hook on the last little crucial moment there as they drive it back up now. Oh, and there's another fumble. That would have been... This here now is the critical part of the game, and BBR could not afford to do that. Cambridge, they've got some... Here comes Ben Powell. He was going to slow the game down, but they fumbled it before it got to him. A minute to go. This is BBR's last chance, he'd have thought. Driving up the pitch. Hogg. Someone back involved.
James Tweedy. Can he just wiggle his way through this?
Maynard slips. Out to the winger. They've given it.
And into the final minutes we are we 6 apiece?
Yes, that's... As the referee has given that.
He has.
6 apiece. 30 seconds to go. Maynard just loses his footing. He goes long. And the touchdown is there. That was never on the cards, but it's going to drop off. 6 apiece. That's the last game, and this one going to drop off. So the two teams go into their respective sub-box now to give a quick chat. Who's going on the field, what the tactics are. They definitely needed that in the last 30 seconds, did BBR. So Coach Powell versus Coach McKenzie here in this last third, fourth playoff, penultimate game of the day. The referees blowing a whistle to get their players on. There's no time to waste here.
Well, Greg, deja vu. Here we go again, a drop-off. And this time it's in the Elite Cup third, fourth playoff as the All-English affair, Cambridge against BBR. We've seen some classics over the last month between these two, and nothing can separate them here at the European Touch Championships here in Maidenhead. And we're underway in the drop-off. BBR will have the first chance to attack. Here's Finley Lockhart. Alongside him is James Tweedy. And Crisp is just on this near side wing. Clark Hobson's there. Oh, a space opening up on this near side. A chance! Oh, an opportunity goes.
On the second touch, they've gone long, so that's the opportunity gone. So if Cambridge score in this set now, that is game over. If they don't score, then it's the next score wins. So it just goes to sudden death after that. They both had the opportunity. So this is now, and he's thrown the ball. I'm not sure he's going to get anything for that, but this is now sudden death. Yep, the referee has seen it. He's thrown the ball away. 10 metres. Just a bit of frustration there from missing.
Oh, what an opportunity this is for BBR to win the game. Here's Finley Lockhart slowing things right down, almost just in a standing position. And he gets it back, looks to go left to right, goes in himself.
He's got it, that's it, the
has.
game is over. BBR take the win.
Oh, and Cambridge will be so frustrated after doing all the hard work there in the initial attacking phase. They gave away their penalty. And Sam Missing also threw away the ball, but BBR have won the game via the drop-off in the third, fourth playoff. And again, another really great game, wasn't it, Greg?
Excellent, fantastic from both teams. You can see here, if you look at the highlights reel back from that game, some really good footwork there. Scoring between the Jones duo. Here's the youngster Missing. to Maynard. Just a look on frustration between those two BBR players, like, was it mine, was it yours? Both teams there, fantastic showing, just showing how close the teams were in these final rounds. Yesterday there's some big scoreline differences, but now we've got to the crucial end of the tournament. The scoreline is very close. There's nothing to separate them. We've had to go into extra time for the last 2 games, and I think the next one won't be much different, Brad.
No, the next one is set up, of course. It's the one we've all been building up for throughout the weekend, the Elite Cup final, Hot Custard against Six-Pack Roosters, as we just see a few more of these highlights from the 3rd-4th playoff, and that was Ben Powell, the coach, who came on and just wanted to give it a go himself, and he was itching to get back onto the field as we spoke to him when he was in the commentary box earlier, giving us his thoughts. And Cambridge, such a useful side and such a quick and vibrant side, aren't they?
Absolutely. They've been building with the junior setup down in Cambridge, and generally in the Midlands as well for this season. Matt Maynard there, missing. There's a lot of those youngsters coming through that are all in the England high performance setup now, and you can see that those players coming off European Championships and World Cups have just got that edge to some of those players, and it's shown in that final as well there. That was just an unfortunate one, wasn't it, at the end, where Maynard slipped.
And this was the winning moment. And actually quite right, it was Finlay Lockhart who got that, because he'd had a superb game, hadn't he?
He had end-to-end stuff, but Lockhart was a standout player in there.
And before we get underway with the Elite Cup final, I believe Chris is pitch side with one of our victors from the BBR side.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. Lauren of the Jersey team that's won the bowl competition here this weekend. The sun's come out. Thanks for bringing the weather up from the Channel Islands. We really appreciate it. As far as your team's concerned, how important is it to head home with silverware?
I tell you what, it does really mean a lot to us. We've seen this as more of a development year. We've got some 15-year-olds away with us this tournament. We had a disappointing few losses yesterday, so coming away with the win of the bowl today is really important.
Yeah, I did nip out earlier on to catch some of your final up against Amsterdam, and it seems that I think some of your players were barely out of nappies, let alone playing adult touch. But I guess that's one of the good things about this sport.
Yeah, exactly. You can start from such a young age playing it. I think I had my first cap at 12, I did actually, and then progressed all the way through the years. So yeah, it's really good seeing the newbies coming through.
As far as you talk about in terms of development, do you have one eye on next year's European Championships when you come to a tournament like this?
We're definitely looking to improve. Being on an island is quite limited because we don't always get away to as many competitions as we like. So we're going to look this year to build up, keep developing the team, and look onto the Euros next year.
And we've been talking to the guys from Guernsey as well over the course of the last couple of days. It is a thriving sport there. Is that partly because the islands are so small and it can be mixed age, mixed gender?
I think it really opens up opportunities for everyone to play, and we obviously go across the Guernsey. We have our interinsulars, we play a lot against them, so it's nice seeing that we're both developing at the same rate.
And as far as how much are you learning from watching teams who are slightly more experienced and playing at a bit of a high level? What do you take from these games? So we're just about to watch the overall cup final between the Six-Pack Roosters and Hot Custard.
I really enjoy watching these games. These guys bring the intensity all the way through, and they've got some great skilled players, and I personally really enjoy playing against them when I've played in Euros, and looking forward to playing them next year as well.
Lauren, sit back, relax, enjoy the cup final, and congratulations again. And back up to Brad for the final between Six-Pack Roosters and Hot Custard. I think this one is going to be a potential classic.
So we are now into our final game of the weekend, the Elite Cup final here, the European Touch Club Championships 2019. It's England against Scotland. It's Hot Custard against Six-Pack Roosters, live from Maidenhead. This one is set up to be a fantastic game. This is how the table is lined up. Hot Custard, well, 5 games, 5 wins, as simple as that. And Six-Pack Roosters came in that second spot in the end. Both sides packed full of experience, and Hot Custard riding the crest of a wave at the moment after they claimed the Elite Cup in the final NTS series of the summer in Oxford. And Six-Pack Roosters, of course, we've had Charlie Brett and Ross Taylor up in the comms box over the weekend, giving us their thoughts on the club and the progression of Scottish touch as well. So this one should be a fascinating affair between two really good sides. So we now know who's going to finish in third and fourth place. BBR claimed third, fourth elite place over Cambridge Hornets. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the final game of the weekend here at the European Touch Club Championships 2019. It's the game we've all been waiting for the weekend. We've been following the results all for this. Hot Custard taking on Six-Pack Roosters, England against Scotland. And I'm delighted to say, joining myself, Bradley Hope, is Greg Cropper for this one. Greg, we've been waiting all weekend. We've had so many games on, over 4 pitches. And this is the one that both sides will have been waiting for and anticipating for, and it should be a great game.
Fantastic. It's going to be end-to-end stuff, I think. The skill set between those two teams, the number of international caps from these players, and the speed and agility that they've got is second to none here. The results for Custard have been stronger, so I'd say that they're going into this as favourites off the pool rounds. There's Ross with that long ball, just goes to ground though. It's an opportunity from both sides in the first minute, so it's definitely all guns blazing, leaving nothing in the tanks of both teams.
We looked at the the pools, actually, the cup pool in particular, of course, and Hot Custard played 5-1-5, so they are coming in to this with all the momentum. And over the halfway, over the 10-metre mark they go, Angus Goff, and now trying to turn away over the 10-metre mark they come.
Just got a bit confused, I think they did, Ironside. So this is now Ross driving it back up.
Ironside gets the touch in early, along with there's Chillingworth as well. Chillingworth doing well to weave his way past Scott on the halfway line with Alan Clapham. Callum Smith is there in support, and there is Marshall McLeod.
He does drive that ball in hard, doesn't he? That
Really
momentum that nobody else seems to be able to put into the game. He just adds that extra bit, gets the defence running around all out of position to get a really good platform for that six-pack team. Does make that big difference when he just puts the foot on the gas.
It's such a useful asset, isn't it, to have when you can almost just pass him the ball at halfway and you know that you're going to gain so many yards driving through the middle.
Exactly, and it's one of those underrated skills, setting a platform for that person that can pick up and throw long. That person that picks it up always looks good, but the person that puts it down is the one that makes or breaks it, basically. There's Sam Jones going through, just didn't make it to Katrina Weir on the wing. But they've got another attack here of Hot Custard.
Yeah, another opportunity now to attack the goal line. Our very own Chris Wehrmaff just getting the ball back into play. He's been on commentary duties with us, of course, throughout the weekend. And here's Jake Hogan now for Hot Custard. Chris Arnold, he's a big presence in the middle of this Hot Custard play. He also plays rugby union as well, doesn't he? I believe Chris Arnold.
Does he really? Good.
I believe so.
There's a lot of
yeah, he plays for Esher in Nat 1.
A lot of transferable skills between the cords, isn't there?
Chris Arnold looping it wide and just couldn't be picked up. It was Leia Cuthbertson on this near side wing. It was way overhead. And here is that man, Marshall McLeod, trying to drive his team on. Callum Smith, oh, and a mistake on the edge of their own 5 metre. And what an opportunity this is for Hot Custard to land the first blow in this Elite Cup final.
Yeah, they just couldn't handle the pressure there that the defence was putting on them. They just fumbled that ball. Here comes the sweeper. He's gone long early, and there is Cuthbertson. England Women's Open player there, dotting down in the corner for the first touchdown of the final.
All came through the middle. Hogan was there, as long with Chris Arnold whipping that ball out to Cuthbertson, and Shona Campbell just couldn't cover round quick enough, and Hot Custard land the first punch in this Elite Cup final. How will Six-Pack Roosters respond? Here's Charlie Brett, and Shona Campbell's on this near side wing. She's been fantastic all weekend for Six-Pack Roosters. She's a fantastic claimer of the rugby ball, and she just gets it in and gets it down really quickly. Charlie Brett there along with Ross Taylor. Chillingworth is there. Taylor does the same, trying to spread the ball over to that far side, but the defence of Hot Custard does well.
5th touch. This is where they've sometimes just found something out of nothing. Everyone seems to be on the wrong page at that time, unfortunately. They have just found something out of nothing a couple of times on the 5th touch of Six-Pack in the game we were watching earlier. And there's a technical error. There was no touch made there. So it becomes a penalty to the Six-Pack team. 10 metres out from the Hot Custard line. So let's see how they can set something up here.
Oh, a loose pass from Ross Taylor to Chillingworth, and he does well to actually pick it up. And here's Taylor, bang on the 5 metre. Charlie Brett and Taylor have been a really good partnership to watch over the course of this weekend. And here's Ross Chillingworth for Taylor and Brett. Oh, and Brett just completely loses his footing. He actually looks like he's in a bit of discomfort. He's holding his ankle, is Charlie Brett, and this will be a huge loss if he has to come off. He's just walking a bit sheepishly, and he's actually going to be making his way off the field. Callum Smith is going to replace him.
Yeah, hopefully Brett's okay, can continue to have a bit of a rest, have a look at it in the substitution box. But yeah, it will be a big loss if he can't play the rest of this game.
He's still walking around a bit sheepishly in the subs box. Custard.
This Hot Custard team just seem a little bit all at 6s and 7s at the moment. There's a lot of miscommunication maybe. That's a bit more what we expect. That's a great shutdown there by the winger. That was key.
Yeah, it was Indy Angel Old who was coming through there, and it was an important touch. Here's Hannah Smith now for Roosters, and again, both sides, I think I know they're very short games, but just needing a couple of minutes to settle into this.
They are indeed, yeah. They're not sure the pressure of the occasion's getting to a few of them. But yeah, everyone seems to be rushing it a little bit. A lot of errors and drop balls. Here's Sam Jones now. England Men's Open player from the Touch World Cup.
Hogan.
Coming in, running long. Just touched there, made by Anderson.
Jones in the middle. Angel Old now. Just creeping way forward, and now's Hogan. Angel Old gets it back and lays it off to Chris Arnold again. Oh, does it just die in front of her? It was a Katrina Weir, wasn't it?
Didn't make it to her arms, unfortunately.
Wow, that was an amazing take. It was pinged at him at a rate of knots, and well, that would have been a terrible position to give away a penalty.
Wouldn't it just? This Hot Custard team are looking to put quite a bit of pressure on this drive. They're not allowing them to get to the box quite easily. And this is fourth and just before halfway line, so someone's going to have to go off this one.
Ross Chillingworth along with Ross Taylor there.
He's gone long. He had to do something just away from the Hot Custard substitution box. So just 3.5 minutes to go in this first half. Both teams still trying to settle into the game by the look of it.
And we're almost nearly approaching half time as well. 3.5 minutes to go.
So the England mixed open trio here, Ironside, Scott and Goff. See what they can provide. The crowd thought that was an over the mark call, but nothing came of it.
Thanks, Goff and Scott linking up. Swept over, and a good touch on Kendall Fry, and that stops the attack from happening. So here's Rowan Chillingworth now, making it some good yards. Taylor, and here is Charlie Brett, so he's come back on, he seems okay. Here's Smith, laying off to Campbell. Clapane, McLeod, Smith now, over halfway. Good yards made up. McLeod, he just got ahead of Seam, almost just looked a bit too excited there to get to the ball, and just needed a bit of composure. I don't know if that's a mixture of almost adrenaline and tiredness as well. It must be a unique situation to be in.
It's one of those that the best teams have got to be also the fittest and the most composed teams. They've played the most games. It's the longest time for them on the field in terms of minutes played, and also the length of time that they've got to go. They were on the field this morning at 8:30, the first tap off. So it's been a long old day for a lot of them. Katrina Weir just catches that on the end. Score is in.
Just waiting for that confirmation. Yeah, it is, and it is Katrina Weir who gets in. And Chris Arnold again is the instigator of that long pass out wide. Gets it in time, and just a bit of a clash with Gladding as well, but it was not intentional at all. And
she was chasing so hard to catch her. I don't think she could stop in time there, but six-pack Roosters definitely need to score here with 1.5 minutes to go in this first half of the cup final. This is going to be key for them, this attack. There's Anderson. Ironside making the touch.
Taylor now. Brett Touch comes in from Angus Goff.
You can see a lot of tiredness coming into this game now. A lot of people puffing and panting a little bit. But what can Brett do with this last? Anderson just caught there. Just keeping it away from the hot custard substitution box, just to not let them sub easily. But here they come.
Oh, what a run! She's all the way through!
Her?
Kendall Fry! Oh, and what a touch that was from Shona Campbell, who got into the position to stop her.
They've just brought it back. That's an odd call by the referee to take it all the way back. He either play on or a penalty. So that's a, not sure what he was thinking there, but we're playing on. The hoot is probably about to sound any second now. This hot custard team just counting down the clock.
Arnold, ball's out wide, and it looked to try and find Sam Jones. The hooter should be going any second now. Over the 10-metre mark, Charlie Brett now. Alan Clepane. Over halfway, Callum Smith laying it off to Marshall McLeod. This is really lovely stuff from Roosters. Oh, and Chris Arnold all the way through. Who's going to stop him? Can Marshall McLeod get there in time? Chris Arnold all the way through, gets on the score sheet. Well, there's going to be a bit of controversy for sure. The hooter probably should have been sounded by now. And hot custard. One, 3-0 up. And at the break, hot custard lead by 3 scores to 0. A lot of work for six-pack Roosters now. And at half-time in the Elite Cup goal final, it's the English side, Hot Custard, who lead by 3 points to 0 against six-pack Roosters. Don't go in here for the second half. Are we going to see a big comeback from the Scottish team? Or Hot Custard go on and win the Elite Cup final?
So the touch is the equivalent of a tackle in rugby union or rugby league. In touch, we get 6 of them to try and score a touchdown. Scoring a touchdown, you have those 6 touches, and the defence are trying to make all 6 to prevent you from scoring. You can also touch clothing, boots, legs, wherever in order to create that touch. You can have such thing as a hard tackle or a hard touch, which is where you put too much force into the touch. A heavy touch can be made by the attacker or the defender as well. The attacker putting too much force on the initiated touch, or the defender putting too much force into the push of the touch. An attacker can either initiate the touch to stop the defence from making it, or the defence can make the touch themselves. The attacker can make the touch to make a better roll ball and to keep the momentum in the attack.
So we are back underway in the Elite Cup final. The final 12 minutes of touch rugby action this weekend here in Maidenhead, and a lot of work now to do for six-pack Roosters. And we've said it so many times over the weekend, but teams who are behind and chasing the game, they need the first score in the second half, don't they, Greg?
They have, and they've tapped off, and here's that man Brett. don't think she played at that one, so I think it'll just be a turnover. Yeah, they definitely needed to try and score that first one, didn't they? It was unfortunate. But here come Custard. Shane Scott just running on the outside. He's fumbled the ball.
You can just see him muttering under his breath. He was so frustrated
over.
of that. And now these are the opportunities that Six Foot Roosters have got to take. Charlie Brett, and this is the man they need more than ever, really, to try and create stuff. And Rowan Chillingworth is now with him. Here's Taylor. It might rely on those three men to try and get them back into this. Here's Charlie Brett flicking it out to the far side, and Shona Campbell is there. And she's been fantastic all weekend as well, but that was a real tough one to claim, and she nearly did it, actually.
Yeah, she did. It was a high one. I think the winger was there as well, but there was still a lot to do for her. But yeah, that six-pack have got to take those opportunities, haven't they? They probably went a little bit early in the phase. They probably could have tried a couple of safer options, so they had another opportunity, but they went long on the first one. Go big or go home, I think, is there seems to be the motto of this final in the last 10 minutes of the game.
Absolutely. All risk. And the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Let's see what they can do. Custard, can they finish it off? I think that was it a vital touch? No, the referee's going to give it, and Hot Custard advancing to a 4-0 lead. Could that be the score that potentially kills this game off? We've still got time to go, but it's a long way back now for the six-pack Roosters.
That's a big pass as well, isn't it?
We've seen that a couple of times now, haven't we? Chris Arnold, he's just got that power in his forearms. Maybe it's the work he does in rugby union that maybe just gives him that extra power in the forearms.
I think it's one of those. It's all about the technique. Is that the length of pass? You see these really big guys, and then the skinny guys, and you think, oh well, he must be able to pass it further. But even if you look at all of the elite players that are playing touch, it's not about the strength of the arms. A lot of it is a technique thing as well. So yeah, you need the strength, but the power is getting out of the good technique and that swivel of the body, power from that back arm. Been unstoppable with those long passes. As the Custard team drive it forward. Shane Scott just getting a penalty there for a hard touch.
So on halfway, under 9 minutes left to go in this Elite Cup final in the European Touch Club Championships 2019. Hot Custard at the moment, it's almost, you can just about say, have one hand on that trophy. Can they finish the job off? Kendall Fry now into the middle, leaving some space now for Angus Goff, number 24 there. Jamie Ironside with the blue cap on. Ironside leading to Goff. Here's Scott back into Goff, and now Ironside. And not on this occasion, they couldn't just wrap up the game fully. It was lovely quick play there between those three, wasn't it? And now here comes Marshall McLeod. If they want to get into this game, if they want to try and grab this trophy back, they've got to do it now.
This is the make or break time, isn't it? It's a long way back. It's still doable. There's that man, Brett. A long way to go back where the touch was made 7.5 minutes ago. Still totally doable to catch this team up, but they've got to use every opportunity. He's gone long, and that was the sixth touch. Like you said, but I think this game is done and dusted in terms of scoreline. It's a long way to come back for the Roosters team. Can they get on the score sheets and make a game of it?
Hogan back into the middle, and Sam Jones, Hogan and Jones linking up nicely. Chris Arnold is there just to the left, and he gets it back into middle to Hogan. Good pressurised touch from Charlie Brett. Now Arnold just laying off, space opening up, and could it be as easy? Oh, just that touch just coming from Chillingworth in time.
It doesn't look like it. He's not claiming it. Another score, that makes it 5 to Hot Custard.
And
a great finish there by Leah Cuthbertson. Still quite a lot to do though. There's a lot to to catch when someone's running at you. Let's just watch that replay again. Sam Jones driving it in. Arnold picks up. Fit. Sweep it back. Early pass. And that long pass. It's a long way to run. Diving touch. That was a great dive. That was unfortunate for him. But it was a great dive. He had a lot of meters to cover there.
For a minute, I actually thought he had got the touch, and
oh,
there we go. Well, if anything, it doesn't look like they're going to go and win this Elite Cup final, but just to get a score on the board will give them just so much satisfaction. Gladding getting over the line. Smith was there waiting for Gladding, and it was good work all round.
It's funny when you kind of see them on form, and you kind of go, well, why don't they just do that all the time? It looked like they'd got that set up, and the score was quite clearly going to happen when the half went through there. It just looks like they could do that more often. I know it's easy to say here, but they've been doing it in the other games. I'm just not sure what's been the difference in this one, that they've not been able to just capitalise on those opportunities.
Here's Shane Scott now. He's a crucial player in this Hot Custard side, alongside Angus Goff. Scott coming in from deep. Goff spreading the ball out to that far side, although it takes a deflection.
6 to go. Another set on the line as Hot Custard.
So 5 minutes left of touch rugby action here in Maidenhead, the European Touch Club Championships 2019. And what a fantastic weekend it's been. And Greg, just a quick word, and it's been a fantastic weekend. 18 teams, all from different countries. It's been a superb watch, hasn't it?
Exactly, and it's been a tournament that's kind of is new. There's been some a lot of thought gone into this. It's a bit like a Champions League, I guess, in terms of each country's top team's been invited. It's an invitation-only tournament this year, the first that we've run, and hopefully long may it continue. It's been an excellent tournament, well represented, over 100 games over the weekend, 18 teams, 11 countries, and it's only going to get bigger and better next year. Now it's embedded. It will be, I think, something to look out for again in the future, this tournament.
I know a lot of the players have actually said this was the one they'd penciled in and said they were really looking forward to getting their teeth into. And of course, the touch rugby action keeps on coming. We'll have the Junior Touch Championships, of course, a couple of weekends' time in Paris.
Yep. England Touch Nationals a couple of weeks after that in St Ives in Cambridge. Again, back on the BBC for finals day on the bank holiday Monday. And there's a couple of European tournaments still to come for the Challenge Trophy and the Senior Cup as well. So still a lot to go before the season kind of finishes in the end of October. As you see, we start going to mainland Europe when it comes to October, November time. We can't be playing in England in that weather. But yeah, this has been an absolutely fantastic tournament. It's been well run. I think the teams, like you said, but have all been penciling it in for a long while now. And they've all come out to show what they've got. These top two teams have definitely showed that over the weekend. And Hot Custard looking like they're going to take on the spoils at the end of the weekend as well.
Well, they won the final NTS in Oxford a couple of weeks ago, and now they've come here to Maidenhead and only a couple of minutes away from claiming the Elite Cup here at the European Touch Championships. Gladding wanting to try and do something different about that, though. 2 minutes to go. Surely not. This will be some comeback. Here's Charlie Brett in the middle. Good touch from Angel Auld.
Penalty against Custard, so Sixpack have got another opportunity at the line. But this is defence for Hot Custard. It's been difficult to break through, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've really been stubborn and well organised throughout the weekend. Charlie Brett going for the line, diving forward, gets a good stretch
Ball
in.
is down, I think. They've given it. Sixpack. I think they may have left it too late, though.
I believe so, with under 2 minutes remaining. Hot Custard well on their way. So entering into the final minute of action here in Maidenhead, and it's coming to a close, and Hot Custard, I think, have been well worthy champions. They've played some exciting stuff, although Six Pack Roosters are just trying to spoil the party, trying to add a few more points to the board. Themselves have had a fantastic weekend as well.
They have, yeah, been a fantastic showing from both teams. Just been discussing here about the MVPs of this weekend. The male MVP is that man Chris Arnold, that's been throwing those long balls all weekend out to the wingers. And the female MVP is Shauna Campbell from Six Pack Touch. And that is it. The final hooter has gone.
Well, there we go. An end to what has been a superb weekend here in Maidenhead, and Hot Custard have travelled to Maidenhead. 18 teams from 11 countries have competed this weekend, and it's the English side, Hot Custard, who have won the Elite Cup by 5 points to 2 over the Scottish side, Six Pack Roosters. Hot Custard have had a fantastic tournament. They claim to be a very social side, but when it comes to the pitch, they really mean business, don't they, Greg?
They do, yeah, and they've had a lot of experience in that team. It seems they've been building over the season. They've been making quarterfinals, semi-finals, but they've never made the final until the last national series and then this final as well. So they've definitely built over the season. You can see there's a lot of camaraderie between the team as well. But yeah, fantastic showing from those guys.
It's Hot Custard just get into their huddle. Lots of smiling faces. They're happy with their weekend's work. They've come away with the Elite Cup final. And let's have a look at those key moments over the final. Hot Custard, well, they got off to the perfect start. Chris Arnold, our chosen MVP, straight in the thick of it, wasn't it?
From the off, weren't they? He's been involved in everyone there again. Arnold picks up, scoops through, has a look, goes long again, and there's Katrina Weir just dotting down in the corner. Here's that man Arnold again. That's why he was the most valuable player of that team. Just can't be caught. Runs away from...
He got quicker and quicker, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
The further he got away.
People start to slow down at that speed. Here he goes again, Arnold. That other long... That right to left ball again. He's scored 3 of them. Thrown the other... he scored 1 of them, scored the other... There he is again, involved. Arnold has been instrumental in all 5 touchdowns there for Custard.
And it was Leah Cuthbertson who went through, and that agonising dive, wasn't it, from Rowan Chillingworth? He looked like he'd just got there in the nick of time, didn't he? And this is Gladdingshire for Six Pack Roosters.
That's that man. There's Brett sweeping around the back. A good dive underneath the ball was down. I think the Custard player made the line. But here's the victors, Hot Custard.
And just looking at this Hot Custard side, fantastic weekend for them. And I believe we'll be going to be speaking to a couple of the winning teams very shortly from Hot Custard.
Yeah, an excellent showing from that team this weekend. And a fantastic showing all of the way through. They went unbeaten in the pools today and then topped it off, taking that cup final in the last game of the day. Well earned victory by the Custard team.
Wow, what a superb...
Some celebrations tonight back over there in the London
do.
headquarters.
And if there's one team I can back to have some fantastic celebrations, it's Hot Custard.
Indeed, they've got a water pool of a bath up there. You can see there at the top of the screen that they've been relaxing in as well. So
It's
They're back in there and cooling the legs off after that end-to-end final.
And just a quick word on six-pack Roosters, Greg. They've come down from Scotland. Likes of Charlie Blair, Ross Taylor, fantastic players, aren't they?
Yeah, wonderful. They've come through the ranks as well. Ross Taylor, I think Scotland men's open player. Charlie Brett, mixed open player that got the bronze medal at the World Cup. There's a lot of experience there. Callum as well in there. So there's a lot of experience in that team. Again, looking at it from an England point of view, we rarely see them as a club playing. They don't attend our events as such, but a lot of their players do. So yeah, some of those higher profile players are very well known to us. And going through this tournament, they've ran a lot of teams hard. BBR, the other London clubs as well that they've run against hard this weekend, so well-deserved finalists. They just couldn't seem to get it together. It seemed to the wheels were falling off the bus a little bit from early doors. It was an odd one, wasn't it, in the early doors of this? But yeah, very well-deserved victory there by Hot Custard.
Well, the Hot Custard have won the Elite Cup Gold Final. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by two of the winners, Chris Arnold and Indy Angel Old. Chris, first question to you. How do you feel? A fantastic outing there in the final, and you got over the line. Congratulations.
Cheers, thank you for that. It's been a great weekend. Obviously very hot. 11 games or 10 games a touch. A lot of it there, but a great facility here. Good tournament put on by EFT.
Yeah, we've had a great tournament. We've had a lot of fun. Really good level of competition. So stoked to be here.
And coming into the weekend, was this the aim? Were you expecting to get to the final and win it, or is this exceeded expectations?
Oh, a little bit of both. I think we were hopeful coming into it. We knew we had a good side, which is rare for us. You know, we are a bit in and out. But yeah, so it was great to come in and get that result.
And what's next for you guys? What's the next thing on the radar?
Probably a bit of pool time and a few tinnies.
Well, I'll let you go down for the presentation because I know it's only a couple of moments away. But Chris and Indy, congratulations to the Elite Cup winners here at the European Touch Championships. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, and thanks again for EFT for the great tournament.
Pleasure, no worries. Well, that brings an end here to our coverage here in Maidenhead for the European Touch Club Championships 2019. Hot Custard are your Elite Cup winners by 5 points to 2 over six-pack Roosters. Thank you very much for joining us over the weekend. If you've been following us here on the England Touch Rugby channel and BBC Sports Online, thank you very much for tuning in over the weekend. It's been an absolute pleasure here from Maidenhead. And this has been the European Touch Club Championships 2019. And we'll see you very soon.